never knew you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be there for the last ride.
The Fast and Furious franchise has become known for impossible stunt sequences, Corona beer, and the third movie that nobody still quite understands. In the first 5 movies, things were a bit confusing, but around movie 6, the idea was born that Dom, Vin Diesel, and his team are actually family. Furious 9, also known as F9, will have to take it up a notch, not only in terms of action sequences, but also in terms of the villains they will be facing. We went and scoured the internet and proudly bring you the following video. Here is what fans can expect from Fast and Furious 9. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Fast and Furious up to now. In order to understand where we are in the Fast and Furious franchise, we need to understand what happened up to now. There are 8 movies preceding F9. Let's look back at the franchise starting after the 3rd installment, since that is where the current team started to take shape. Fast and Furious 4 2009. Dom has assembled a new crew which features a few familiar faces, namely Letty, Michelle Rodriguez, his girlfriend. They are back to doing truck hijackings, this time in the Dominican Republic. The crew eventually disbands and Dom leaves Letty in order to protect her, but a few months later discovers that Letty has been murdered. As he tracks her killer, he runs into Brian, now working at the FBI, to track down a drug dealer named Arturo Braga. The pair go down undercover and join Braga's gang. Along the way, Dom learns that Letty was working undercover for Brian, trying to clear Dom's name. Brian makes a deal with his superiors that he will lead Braga into a trap in exchange for clearing Dom's record. He succeeds, but it turns out that the Braga that Brian has been chasing is a decoy. The real Braga has escaped to Mexico. Dom and Brian head south of the border and catch Braga, but Braga's henchmen try to intercede. Brian is injured and Dom kills one of the henchmen. The cops are closing in and Brian tells Dom to run, but Dom is tired of running and turns himself over. He gets 25 years in prison. As he is being transferred to prison, Brian and Mia lead a team to intercept the bus. Fast 5 2011. Picking up exactly where Fast and Furious left off, the team successfully intercepts the prison bus and manages to free Dom, with plans to meet up in Rio de Janeiro. While Mia and Brian await Dom's arrival, they join a plan to steal some cars from a train. The cars are seized assets, one of which belongs to one of their new crew members, Zizi. Mia steals Zizi's car and Zizi kills the DEA agents assigned to watching over the cars. It turns out the car is hiding a computer chip detailing the criminal empire of Zizi's boss, Reyes. Diplomatic Security Services agent Hobbs, Dwayne Johnson, comes in at this point, looking to arrest Brian and Dom. Dom wants to split up and flee Rio, but Mia reveals she's pregnant, so the crew decides to use the info on the chip to steal Rey's money and start a new life together. Hobbs arrests Mia, Dom, Brian, and another team member, Vince, but before they can be extradited, Rey's men attack. Hobbs' men are killed, but Dom's team rescues Hobbs before escaping. Dom and Hobbs team up to tear out the vault holding Rey's money from the police station. After the intense scene, Hobbs says he will give them a 24-hour start, provided they leave the money in the vault. They agree because, as it turns out, the vault was a decoy. It is empty. Brian, Mia, and Dom switched the vaults and got all the money. They escape to a tropical beach. In a mid-credits scene, Hobbs is given a file about a recent hijacking in Berlin. One of the members is Letty, who is presumed dead. Fast and Furious 6 2013. The crew has split up to live around the world. Hobbs is investigating the destruction of a Russian military convoy at the hands of a British Special Forces agent, Owen Shaw. Hobbs needs Dom and his crew to help him. In exchange, they will receive amnesty for their past crimes and be allowed to return to the United States. To entice Dom further, Hobbs reveals that Letty is part of Shaw's crew. In London, the crew gets into it with Shaw's crew. Letty is there and shoots Dom without hesitation. Turns out she has amnesia. Shaw took her in, but later finds out about her previous relationship with Dom. Hobbs reveals that Shaw's crew is building a deadly device to be sold to the highest bidder. Shaw's crew begins the heist that will get them the final component for the device. He and Letty are cruising around in a military tank, which flips. Dom risks his life to save Letty. Shaw and his team are captured, but it is revealed that he has kidnapped Mia, and that Hobbs' partner, Riley, was working for Shaw this whole time. Hobbs is forced to release them in order to protect Mia. Letty chooses to stay with Dom. Shaw and his crew try to escape on a cargo airplane, but Dom's crew keeps the plane from taking off. Mia is saved. Gal Gadot's Giselle sacrifices herself to save Han from one of Shaw's men, and Dom rescues the computer chip from the exploding plane, ensuring their full pardon from Hobbs. They return to the Toretto family home in Los Angeles, with Lefty, who still doesn't have her memory back, but remarks that this feels like home. The mid-credits scene takes place in Tokyo, where Han is in a car race. He's broadsided by a car, whose driver walks away from the scene after leaving Letty's cross necklace. Han's car explodes, and the man, Jason Statham, calls Dom to say, "You don't know me, you're about to." Furious 7, 2015. Shaw had a brother, Deckard, Jason Statham, who now wants vengeance for his brother. He bombs Hobbs' office after stealing files on Dom and his team, which severely injures Hobbs in the process. Han, one of Dom's crew, is killed in Tokyo by Deckard, and Dom goes to claim Han's body. This is where the stuff with Dom in Tokyo and Tokyo Drift comes in, making the third film in the series fit in around here chronologically. At Han's funeral, Deckard attempts to get into it with Dom, but Dom is rescued by a covert ops team led by Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell. He will help Dom stop Deckard in exchange for Dom and his crew's help in getting the God's Eye, a computer program that can track people. He also wants Ramsey, the hacker who created the program, to be saved from a mercenary, Jaconda. Dom agrees, and the team heads out to the Middle East, where they rescue Ramsey, Nathalie Emmanuel, and steal the God's Eye from the billionaire who bought it. They track down Deckard, but are ambushed by Jaconda and his people, putting God's Eye into his hands. Everyone returns to Los Angeles, where Hobbs breaks out of the hospital to join the fight. Ramsey regains control of God's Eye and shuts it down. There are lots of explosions, lots of fights, and Dom is believed dead. Letty cradles him and admits she remembers everything. Dom wakes up and regains his life with Letty. The final scene of the film is a tribute to the late Paul Walker. His character Brian retires from the game in the sequels. The Fate of the Furious, 2017. With Dom and Letty on their honeymoon, Brian and Mia having retired from the game, and with the rest of the crew exonerated, the team has found a semblance of a normal life. But the Fast and Furious franchise continues, as a mysterious woman called Cypher seduces Dom back into a world of crime he cannot seem to escape, causing him to betray those closest to him. That mysterious woman is played by Charlize Theron. In the end of the movie, Cypher manages to escape by parachute from her secret aircraft, setting us up for F9. What to expect in F9? The main character that enters the fray in F9 is Dom's brother, Jacob, played by another muscle man, John Cena. In the trailer of the movie, it is made abundantly clear that Jacob wants what Dom has. He wants to take over and wants his brother dead, because he has always lived in his shadow. We also see Charlize Theron back as Cypher. She is back with a vengeance, and at one point can even be seen flying some futuristic stealth plane and launching missiles. Knowing her, the plane is probably a drone, which she is remotely controlling from another location. Why is Jacob after Dom now, after all these years? The answer is most probably Cypher. She still wants to take down Dom and needs help in the form of Jacob to make this happen. She either reawakened some dormant hostility in Jacob, or he found her. What we do not know is if maybe she is controlling Jacob in some other way. The other question is, why does Cypher want them dead? Is it a revenge thing, or does she have another play? She seems too calculating to allow emotions to get in the way. On the Internet Movie Database, we have actors playing Dom's crew when they were a lot younger. One of the actors, Finn Cole, plays a younger Jacob. Vinnie Bennett is playing young Dom. Sienna Ongdan is a young Mia. Izia Denia Hale is young Letty. Juju Zhang is young Ellie. Carson Kern as young Vince. Igby Rigney as young Jesse. Then Sirid is playing young Leo, and Ozuna as young Santos. We can therefore expect to see at least one flashback, which will probably tell us why Jacob feels so left out. Who knows? It may even lead to Jacob and Dom getting things right between them again. The trailer also promises to leave us with the large-scale stunts and action scenes we have become used to. Cena may also be filling the space left by Dwayne Johnson as Hobbs, who will not be in F9. Shaw, played by Jason Statham, will also not be in F9. We wonder how their absence will affect the movie. The rest of the actors, however, are some of the best in Hollywood, so we can expect another blockbuster-scale movie. That is what we know about F9 so far. We hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching.